Hello and welcome in. My name's Tom, your neighborhood butcher, and today we're going to go over area ads: California, Arizona, and Nevada. We're going to go through the ads and try to find you the best deal in the market so that you can save money. You know, that's what we're here. That's what we're here to try to do, is to save you money by shopping around at a few different stores and picking up those really good deals, you know, that you can turn into multiple meals. If you're a food prepper, you know, or if you're trying to have that party on the weekend, or for whatever kind of event you're trying to have, I'm here to save you money. All right, let's start with our first store, and that's going to be Food City. Food City is mainly an Arizona company. You know, it's a little Hispanic market, and I think they're wonderful little stores in Arizona, and they're very local and very neat, and they offer a lot of cool things that maybe other retailers don't offer. So let's take a look at the 3-day ad for Food City. And today, it looks like this 3-day ad is going to go from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and they have pork sirloin chops on sale for $1.29 a pound. Dude, where are you going to find a pork sirloin chop at Walmart or Costco for $1.29 a pound? Only at these local markets that are really trying to drive their business by giving you a very good low gross profit item on their front page to get you in their store so that you'll spend money. And at $1.29 a pound for a sirloin chop, man, that's a great deal. They also have, you know, seedless watermelons, 18 cents a pound. Boy, that is a smoking deal for watermelon this time of year. Then you have just a little nice tortilla for $1.99. That's a great deal as well. Powerades on sale. We've talked about this. Food trucks, summer donations, whatever, you know, donations to the Girl Scouts, donations to so many different places you can donate this. And this is just good. When you're out on a walk, have a Powerade. Take it with you. It's really hot out there and you're constantly needing to replace your electrolytes. 89 cents each for Powerade is a really good deal. Let's keep sliding down this. All right, here's the front page. And on the front page, they have a boneless cross rib steak or roast for $4.49 a pound. You know, you guys, right now, roasts generally across the market, $8 a pound. So when you can find these deals in these little grocery stores that are trying to get you to come in and buy some of their items and shop at their store, they're going to give you a great price on a good roast. And cross rib is a darn good roast for the crock pot. And then they also have country style ribs, $1.59 a pound. Man, even pork butts are $1.99 a pound, $1.79 a pound, you know, on average. So a nice country style rib, and these ribs can be thrown in the crock pot and shredded for green chili, for pulled pork. They could be smoked. There's a lot of different things you could do with them at $1.59 a pound. You are not going to find a country style rib at Walmart for $1.59 a pound. All right, we also have boneless, skinless leg meat. That's thighs for $2.59 a pound. It's a pretty decent deal. It's just an average price. As you start sliding down these ads and get a little deeper into them, of course they're going to be throwing a little higher gross profit items at you just to entice you, so to speak. So maybe you'll pick up that front page item, and then you'll get a couple more items where they can make actually a little bit of gross profit and kind of counteract what they've lost on that front page item. We also have gold, orange, green, and red bell peppers for $2 for $1. 50 cents for bell peppers. Holy shit. That's a great deal. And then we have Club Digital Deals. So this is one of their digital deals right here on raw shrimp. And that looks like a 26 to 30 count raw shrimp for $4.99 a pound. That's a pretty decent deal for a raw shrimp. 26 to 30 count is a medium sized to large size shrimp. And $4.99 a pound is a good price in any market at this point. What else do we have here? Bananas, 2 pounds for $1. Wow. Spare ribs, $2.49 a pound. beef back ribs at $2.99 a pound. Now these might be the beef back ribs that they'll purchase them frozen. They come cryovac. They don't have a lot of meat on them, but that is ribeye meat on those bones. That is ribeye meat for $2.99 a pound. A beef back rib can be an amazing rib, especially if they leave a little more meat on them, and a great savings. Holy shite! Doritos and Lay's and Tostitos dips. Buy 2, get 3 free. Look at the regular retail to make sure you're getting a good deal. But my lord, most of those buy 2, get 3 free. They're really trying to entice you with that price. We have Pepsi, Crush, Squirt, 7-Up, 2 for $4, $2 a 2 liter. That's decent. That's decent. Ramens, 3 for $1. That's a decent deal as well. Beef tongue. Now this is something you don't see in an ad too often. That's what tells you this is a true Hispanic store, because man, you get beef tongue tacos. I've had them. Oh my God, if you do the beef tongue correctly, and you get like the taster glands off that thing, and it is really, really good meat and has a great consistency in a taco or a burrito or something like that. That is a $7.99 a pound is an okay deal for beef tongue. Let's keep rolling down this ad. See what else we have here. Boneless beef. What is that? That's Barrere meat. And then they also have a beef shank as well for $3.49, and that rare meat is for $5.29 a pound. Flat meat at $10.99 a pound. Now that is a high price. $10.99 a pound for flat meat is a high price. There's a lot of other places that have it cheap. Flat meat is one of my favorite pieces of meat for carne asada nowadays. And unfortunately, that's a high price, an advertised high price. So let's not do that one. We also have whole tilapia, $2.89. Man, a whole tilapia at $2.89 a pound? Holy shite, that's a great price. We got 6-packs, bottles, and cans. Buy 2, get 2 free. And also Rock Stars, 3 for $5. So, there's some pretty decent deals. Here's your water right here. Remember those donations. There's a lot of people that are going to be out in our, deserts, and people on the streets right now that really could use water. And you could donate water for $3.99. That's a pretty decent deal. $4.99 on Bar S bacon. That's a 12-ounce product at $4.99 a pound. That's just an okay price in my opinion. But that's it for the Food City ad. But how can you go wrong at sirloin chops for $1.29 and cross rib roast at $4.49, and then country style ribs at $1.59? Smoking deals, you guys. All right, let's move on to the Cardenas ad. Cardenas is a great little local market. Some of them are in California and in Arizona, and they always offer a pretty decent price on some good pieces of meat. Here's a sirloin tip steak, beef top round steak or roast for $5.49 a pound. It's not as cheap as that cross rib at $4.49 a pound, but remember, $8 a pound is what you're looking at average, even at Walmart, $8 a pound. And at $5.49 a pound for a nice top round roast or a top round steak, that's a pretty decent deal, you guys. Corn, 2 for $1, 2 for 99 cents. Depending on how big these watermelons are, and you really kind of need to assess that, because at the Food City, they're 18 cents a pound. Here, they're $3.99 for the whole thing. So you kind of need to put that on your scale and see if you're truly getting a good deal. This is one that these stores like this have been running for quite some time, which is your pork stew meat at $2.49 a pound. That's just a little bit above, 50 cents a pound above what you'd buy, say, a pork butt for. And that's a good price, man. You try some stew meat. Pork stew meat is a great item to throw in a crock pot, just to do tons of good things with. Then we also have a 61 to 70 count shrimp, headless. It looks like these are tail on, shell on, not deveined, for $4.99 a pound. That's just a decent price in this situation. Thin cut chicken at $5.99. But here, look at this. 3 32-pack waters for $10.99. That's not bad. That's not bad. If you're looking for those donations, for a big donation, this might be a good place to come this week and get water so that you can donate to the churches, fire departments. There's just lots of places. Some of the radio stations, grocery stores will take water donations so that they can pass those out to the homeless and the needy. There's a lot of places to donate water if you're feeling like that in your heart. Let's keep rolling down this ad and see what else the little Cardenas ad has. This is in the ad almost every single week, and it's their Bar S bologna and hot dogs. This week they're 4 for $5, and that's a pretty decent deal. You know, that's a pretty decent deal indeed. Let's keep rolling down this ad. Coke products, buy two get two free. We always talk about this. There's either a Pepsi or a Coke vendor that are always running a buy two get two free. And as long as the regular retail is saving you money, you know, assess that. So let's see what else we have in this ad this week. There's a bacon for $5.99. Let's see what else. You know, these two items are usually in this ad almost every single week. Ooh, 93% lean ground beef in the Chub though, for $6.49 a pound. You know, lean ground beef, especially the 93%, kind of like the roast, $8-9 a pound. So that's a decent deal if you're looking for that leaner hamburger. Not too bad at all, you guys. Not too bad at all. Let's see what else the local Cardenas has. Sweet pineapples for $2.99 each. We got nectarines and pears for $1.99 each. Here's Pepsi products. Buy two get two free. Voila. So Pepsi and Coke, buy two get two free. Just take a look at that regular retail to make sure you're getting a decent deal. Spare ribs at $2.99 and diced beef at $5.99. I can tell you most places diced beef is, you know, somewhere in that, especially for a pound. I mean, in that $7 to $8 a pound range. So $5.99 isn't too bad if you're looking for diced meat for tacos or for carne asada, you know. That's a pretty decent deal. And that's about it for the Cardenas ad. Let's roll into the Safeway ad. Now, I've been doing the Safeway Albertsons ad, and I kind of want to explain this because I've been making a mistake, and I apologize for that. In California, a lot of the Safeway locations, I mean, they're attached to the Albertsons because Albertsons is kind of like, you know, like Kroger has a bunch of different chains that run under the Kroger heading. Same with the Albertsons heading. Albertsons heading, there's different stores that run under that heading as well. But when you are in California and you go to just a Safeway, this is going to be the Safeway ad in California. And then I'm also going to go over the Albertsons Safeway ad, which is mainly, you know, those stores in Arizona, it seems to me. I could be making a mistake on this, but I'm going to go over both ads because they are different, you know, and you'll see as we go through them. Hass avocados, 4 for $5. And then they also have their Foster Farms chicken. Now this is tricky because it's thin or tenders. And it says Foster Farms simply raised boneless, skinless chicken breasts, thins or tenders. So breasts, thins or tenders, no thighs in this situation. A lot of the times, you know, these companies on their buy one get one ads will run their thighs in there as well. Breasts, thins and tenders on your Foster Farm. And this is kind of a different way of seeing this, simply raised. So I wonder if Foster Farms, you know, is running a different line of chicken. They have their natural, they have their simply raised, and then maybe their organic. So you have to take a look at some of the wording on the packaging and see exactly what you're buying. This is a pretty decent deal right here. Tri-tip roast, you guys, $6.99 a pound. Now this is an untrimmed twin pack, so it's a pretty large package that you're going to have to buy. Like when you try to go in there and buy a whole brisket, you know, that's a big 15-pound piece of meat, 20-pound piece of meat when you're buying a whole brisket. This tri-tip is probably untrimmed. You're probably going to be buying an 8 or 9-pound piece of meat. But at $6.99 a pound for tri-tip, that's a pretty decent deal, you guys. Pretty decent deal indeed. Here's another one. Pepsi, Coke, Dr. Pepper, 7-Up, all those different things. Buy two, get two free. Doritos, Cheetos, Tostitos, buy two, get two free. What a great deal. You can't go wrong. And Cheez-Its, and Pepperidge Farms, different cookies and crackers. Buy one, get one free. take a look at the regular retails on those buy one get one free products to make sure that you're getting the best deal. Let's keep rolling down this ad. See what else we have in store. Chuck Steaks. Now this is a weekly deal. Save up to 20%. These are your digital exclusive offers right here. And this is a chuck roast for $4.97 a pound. That's a pretty decent deal for a chuck roast, especially when that average price for roasts across the market is around $8 a pound. Remember, you can go in there and you can look at my videos in the previous and see my how to pick out the perfect chuck eye. You know that, and that will be that nice roast where you can pull that beautiful chuck eye steak, which is next best to the ribeye. Chuck eye steak, they're only about yay big. Don't think if they might be calling the actual whole chuck steak a chuck eye steak, because that's the eye of that bone-in chuck, but in the wording you need to understand that. But that is a great deal. But you'll have to download their digital offer in this situation. Lay's and Goldfish, $1.97 a bag. Man, that was cheaper than the last holiday. That's an amazing deal right there, and one you could save some money on. Buy one get one free on just their buns, their name brand bun, which is a pretty decent deal. Let's keep rolling down this ad and see what else is in store for us. Well, there's something from the deli, St. Louis style rib, already cooked, sauced, ready to go. Just depends on what that sauce tastes like. You know, sometimes those are good, sometimes they're not. Nathan's hot dogs, $1.49 Oh, that's an actual hot dog made. It's not bad for a hot dog. I mean, you go to Circle K and you get a hot dog for a couple bucks, so, you know, that's not bad at all. Let's keep rolling down this ad. You know, you never want to go shopping hungry. So if you roll over to that deli and grab you a hot dog real quick, if you're feeling super hungry, that makes sense, you know, so that you're not making a bad decision when you're hungry and buying too much food. Jenny O Burgers. This is a whole pack of burgers frozen, $9.99 each. It's not too bad. Oscar Mayer bacon and Lando Frost. This is a 16-ounce pack bacon, and here's a decent price. $4.99 for Oscar Mayer bacon, 16-ounce pack, thick or regular cut. $4.99 is a decent price for that bacon. And then $3.99 for your Hebrew National, and then your Oscar Mayer beef franks, bun length and regular at $3.99 a pack. I love Oscar Mayer. I'm an Oscar Mayer fan and have been since I was a kid, but you know, everybody has their favorite hot dog. Let's keep rolling down this ad and see what else we have in store. All right, here we go. Signature pork shoulder country style ribs. Buy one, get one free. Now, they're not telling you what the regular retail is, so just take a look at that and assess. You know, pork butts are where those ribs come from, you know, and it says shoulder meat, so a pork butt is the shoulder, and that's a great piece of meat if you get it at a decent retail. And buy one get one free. Just take a look and see what you're trying to save. Signature Select 93% lean ground turkey, $4.99 a pound. That's okay. Marinated boneless skinless breast at $5.99, pre-packed. Go buy the regular breast. Marinate your own breast. You can buy the store-bought breasts at $2.99 all day long, and just, you know, get a decent marinade, and you'd save yourself money. Sometimes those are just gimmicks, you know, or companies that are just trying to sell you something, you know, pre-done. Take the time and do it yourself, and you will save money, I guarantee you. What else do we have here? Boneless wings, $5 a pound for boneless wings, already flavored, ready to go. In that situation, why not? Lobster tail. It's a 3-ounce previously frozen lobster tails at $5 each, or a salmon portion, and that's a pretty good sized salmon portion. You see, that's a 7-ounce salmon portion for $5. That's not bad. Still makes that, you know, a little over $10 a pound, but those portions don't have the skin on them, and they're pretty much ready to go. 10 ears of corn for $5. I don't know about that. That's kind of an okay deal, but let's just keep rolling down this ad and see what else is in store. Like I said, as you get farther down these ads, they start charging you a little bit more in some ways. Let's see. All right, and I think that's about it for the Safeway ad in California. Now, these are just the standalone Safeways. I mean, they have a few hot deals here. Family pack, 3 pounds of sausage for $9.99. That's a decent deal. $4.49 for this deli, the 9-ounce, 7 to 9 ounce, deli sliced ham, turkey, things like that. It's not too bad. It's kind of an average price. Let's see what else we have. All right. I think that's it for the Safeways in California. Now let's go to the Safeway Albertsons ad. This is mainly Arizona. And man, they're running a pretty darn good ad. 80% lean ground beef, sold in the value pack, $2.47 a pound. That's a great deal. And then you have the petite sirloin at $4.99 a pound. This is a competitive price, and you're going to see another store that has this exact same piece of meat for the exact same price, competing in that market to try to get your business. They also have a London broil and top round roast for $3.99 a pound. Remember, London broil, $8 a pound. Top round roast, $8 a pound, regular price. $3.99 is a smoking deal and one you should take advantage of. London broil makes great beef jerky. Top round makes great beef jerky. Top round roast in the oven, cooked slow. Nice au jus on the side. Wonderful serving. London broil on the grill. A nice rare London broil so that it's still juicy and it retains that juiciness. Is decent. London broil on the grill, in my opinion, is not the best. And then we have Sanderson Farms drumsticks and thighs and leg quarters for $1.29 a pound. You're going to see this price in another store as well. So that $1.29 is a competitive price in this market. Cherries at $1.99. That's a smoking deal right there, you guys. And then you also have pork back ribs or shoulder roast at $1.97 a pound. Man, if you can get a back rib at $1.97 a pound, that is a smoking deal. And then the pork butt, that's just an average deal for the pork butt. And then you have 1 pound of strawberries for 97 cents each. These ones here on the side, they're all digital deals, and you will definitely need to download your digital coupon. Eggs, dozen eggs for $1.97 a pound, or $1.97 a dozen, I'm sorry. And it looks like a limit 2 on those. Here's buy one, get one free on a whole host of items in here. I couldn't even name them all at this point, but you'll want to be looking for that buy one, get one free POS, point of sale, that's the tag, to see what products are involved. Right on time, buy 2, get 2 free, right? There you go. Coke and Pepsi products, buy 2, get 2 free. Remember Pepsi, you get the 15 pack in the Pepsi products, where the Coke, you're still only getting a 12 pack, so you get 3 extra cans if you buy Pepsi. Heineken, Blue Moon, Stella Artois, Dos Equis, buy 2, get 2 free. Just depends on the regular retail, you guys, on those to see if it's a decent deal. Cheetos, Lay's, Mission tortilla chips, $1.99 each. That is a smoking deal. $1.49 on Rockstars. And then through here is a whole host of coupons that you can take advantage of. Some decent sales on. Let's see what else we have here. Let me look at this one here. Ground sausage or Rosina meatballs for $4.99 each. That's a 3-day sale. And then you also have Hillshire Little Smokies, as well as Adele's chicken sausage. And man, Adele's has a whole line of sausage that's pretty good at $3.99 each. It's pretty good. 5 ears of corn for $1. And this is on a 3-day sale, so be leery of that. That's a decent deal as well. Let's slide down this thing a little bit more and see what else they're running. Assorted chop, decent chop, or a pork steak or country style rib for $2.99 a pound. We saw in the Food City ad that they had a much better deal on pork chops and pork in general, being way under $2 a pound. Boneless stew meat. Remember at the Cardenas, we saw that stew meat at $5.99 a pound, and here it is in this ad at $6.99 a pound. So there's money to be saved out there by shopping around. Smithfield bacon. This is a 12-ounce product at $3.99, and this is where we want to see, in my opinion, your 12-ounce pack of bacon. Already ready, done for you. $3.99 is a pretty decent deal. Very competitive. Let's keep rolling down this ad and see what else is in store for us. All right. Looks like they were mainly on the front page running some really hot deals. All right. So that's the Safeway Albertsons ad. Now we're going to pop over to the Fry's ad. And Fry's is mainly an Arizona company. Fry's is under the Kroger heading. So a lot of Fry's and Smith's. There's just a ton of different companies underneath the Kroger heading, and Fry's is one of them. So let's switch over to the Fry's ad, and here we go. Petite sirloins at $4.99 a pound. This right here is a good deal. This is 2 pounds of strawberries, at $3 or $1.50 a pound. That's a pretty decent deal for 2 pounds of strawberry. Head lettuce at 99 cents each. Romaine tomatoes and white onions, 99 cents each. And buy one, get one free on your Oscar Mayer bacon. That's a pretty decent deal on the Oscar Mayer. Take a look at your regular retail to make sure you're getting a decent deal. Heritage Farm, drumsticks, thighs, and whole fryers. There's that $1.29 a price. Again, on these bone-in, dark meat kinds of pieces of meat. But of course, you can get that whole fryer at $1.29 too. So that's a little better deal than the previous store. They're all running it. Buy two, get two free. Dr. Pepper, Pepsi, Coke. Remember, the Pepsi products are a little bit more for bang for your buck. Take a look at that regular retail. Eggs here, $2.49 a pound. We just saw them at Safeway and Albertsons for $1.97 each, limit 2, and we're looking here at $2.49 for eggs. They're Kroger large grade A egg. We have Cheetos and Lay's, not legs. 4 for $10, and that's a pretty good deal for Lay's. And it looks like you have to buy the 4, and that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. All right, here's your weekly digital deal for Fry's. Remember, this is in the first transaction up to 5 times. You have 80% lean ground beef sold in the roll, 1 pound for $3.99. And then here's a nice water deal. This is the 40-pack water for $3.99. I mean, it's just a good deal. 99 cents on rice-a-roni and spaghetti noodles. That's not too bad. Pickles. Here's that same Oscar Mayer deli fresh ham, turkey, chicken, a lot of different varieties in that for $2.99 each, and Claussen pickles for $2.99. You guys, Claussen pickles have went up. They're in that $6 to $7 a jar range now. I can say I just paid that myself just the other day. My daughter hollers at me on the phone and she's, "Get me some pickles." And I was shocked that they were $6 something each. So this is a really, really good deal on Claussen pickles. Dorito family size is not bad for $3.99. Let's see what else we have here. Digital Nerds. Well, those are all digital deals too, but they're just okay in my opinion. Mainly, what I do here is we assess that protein and then the produce and then some of the drinks and things like that. I'm basically looking at, center of the plate and produce. This $9.99 each on these boxed private select patties is a pretty okay deal. I love these patties. They are frozen, but man, frozen, they'll go right out on the grill, and they cook up pretty nice. They've impressed me in the past, and there's a lot of different varieties of flavors. Crescent rolls and grand biscuits from Pillsbury for $1.99 each. That is, this Fry's runs this on a pretty regular basis, but it's a good deal in comparison to most places in the market. Now this is your ballpark meat frank, bun length and regular for $2.49 each. Is a decent deal. Let's keep rolling. Red Baron pizza at $3.99. Sausage at $3.49. That's all right. Let's keep rolling down this ad. Spare ribs at $2.49. We've seen this in a couple different ads, so that's a very competitive in the market in this situation. Sweet corn, $3.99 for 4 ears, already shucked and ready to go. But we've seen some better deals on larger portions of corn. But those are the ones that have, the casing on them and everything, and you actually got to do the work to get that off. I don't know about you, but shucking a piece of corn is kind of hard to do, getting all those little white, things off of the corn, and it's just a pain in the butt. Let's keep rolling down this here. This is a natural chicken from Fry's for $4.99 a pound if you're into the natural chicken. No hormones, no injections, vegetarian fed, those kind of things. That's okay for that. Arm & Hammer for buy one, get one. I always like to point out the buy one, get one things. Sometimes those are a decent deal. Aqua Star, frozen 20-ounce piece of Pacific salmon for $8.99. I think regular Atlantic salmon, fresh, wild caught, or not wild caught, farm raised, is in that same price range, but that's per pound. This is 20 ounces, so more than a pound for $8.99. And then you have $7.99 a pound on their 26 to 30 count shrimp cooked, and that's just an average price for this company. Oh, here we go, $2.49 a pound. Boneless half loins. I'll tell you, boneless half loin. You cut those into pork chop. You can thin cut that thing. As long as you do the work to produce it, and you can make a ton of pork chops out of a half pork loin at $2.49 a pound, and that'll make multiple meals. You can also get a St. Louis style rib at $2.49 a pound as well. And then you have your boneless chuck roast, bottom round roast, and London broil. I believe the top round roast is involved in that as well at $6.99 a pound. So you see they're running an average price $7 a pound. Roasts are in that normally $8 to $9 a pound range. So this kind of throwing you a bone on the roasts, and trying to charge and make a little more gross profit to make up for that really hot front page item that they're running, which is okay. $11 a bag. This is a 16-ounce bag of U10 scallops for $11. We've seen this cheaper in the past, sometimes in the $9, $10 a bag range, and that's decent. Wild sockeye salmon at $12.99 a pound. It's okay. I believe this is the previously frozen stuff. It says fresh. We'll have to get back to that. Maybe it is still running fresh like that. Sometimes they'll do that. They'll flash freeze that stuff, and then, it'll be fresh, but it'll also be previously frozen, that they've slowly thawed out, to keep it as fresh as possible and to keep sockeye salmon in the market the whole year. All right, let's keep rolling down this ad and seeing what else we have. I think that's about it for the fries. All right, now we're going to run into Vons. Vons is a California company. I think there's a few in Nevada as well. And of course, we're just talking about these 3 states: Arizona, Nevada, and California. And Vons, Albertsons, and here's the situation. Where you see the Albertsons heading, they have bought Vons, Safeway, so let's run down this ad and see what we have. Digital coupon on medium right Hass avocados for 88 cents each. It's not bad. Here's cherries, $1.99. We saw this in the other ad at the same price. So that's a good competitive price in the market. Ribeye steak at $9.99. Ribeye steak on a regular basis is $14.99 a pound. So this is just a decent deal for that. Fresh Atlantic salmon also at $9.99 a pound. A little bit higher price than Fry's, and a little bit higher price than that frozen Aqua Star that you could get at Fry's as well. But remember, Fry's is in Arizona. This is Vons in California. Excuse me. This is a 3-pound, 48 ounces of ground turkey for $9.99. Makes it $3.33 a pound. That's a good deal. A damn good deal, especially for Jenny O. So let's keep rolling down this ad. Here's another store. Buy 2 get 2 free on their on their 12 packs of soda, Coke, and Pepsi. So, just keep an eye on that regular retail. I just don't want them inching up that regular retail every single time that, they run these ads, and then all of a sudden, they're making their gross profit by raising the regular retail and screwing you basically on those deals. Lay's, Doritos, Cheetos, and Ruffles for $2.29 each. It's not too bad. $3.49 on a 12 count of eggs. Now we've seen some better deals on eggs, but $3.49, it's okay in this market. It's just competitive. Let's keep rolling down this ad. Nathan's and Ballpark beef franks at $3.99, as well as Johnsonville sausage at $3.99. It's 19 ounces of sausage right there at $3.99. That is a good price, you guys. And here's a 40 pack of water, $4.99. That's just an okay. We've seen better deals on water, at least $1 cheaper, sometimes $2 cheaper per thing. So I would shop around on that just to make sure, especially if you're going to give donations and things, you want to make sure you're saving yourself as much money as you can. Let's keep shopping down this ad a bit. Let's see what else. Whole host of coupons here and little deals, they're trying to throw at you that are okay, but they're not the best. They're trying to make a little gross profit on you here. And all these little deals. 10 ears of corn for $5. It's okay. 16-20 count raw jumbo shrimp. A 16-20 count, I don't know if you consider that a jumbo shrimp, but $5 a pound is not bad for that size shrimp. 2 for $5, which makes these DiGiorno pizzas $2.50 each. Can't get a pizza for $2.50 anywhere. That's a smoking deal right there. There you go. Vaughn's, man, throwing you a pizza deal. $5 a pound on bacon. Is your Hormel Black Label bacon, one of my favorite bacons. That's probably my second favorite. Farmland's my favorite, and then the Hormel is probably my second favorite, and Oscar Mayer's like my third favorite. So that's how I rank them. At $5 each for that 16-ounce pack, it's decent. That's a decent price for 16 ounces of bacon. Let's keep rolling down this ad. Mangoes, 99 cents each. Peaches, nectarines, and plums, $2.99 a pound. That's pretty good for plums. Let's see what else we have here. Tri-tip roast, untrimmed at $6.99. At least it's not the twin pack, so you can buy a single roast at $6.99 a pound. Remember the other place we were looking at that had them at $6.99 a pound? That was a twin pack untrimmed. So this could be a little better deal if you don't need to buy that much meat, Some random deals here and there. 4 for $5 on Farmer John is okay. That's a pretty decent deal for Farmer John sausages. But that's about it for the Vaughn's ad. Now we're going to roll over to an Arizona company, and this is Bashas. Bashas, almost every single week, you guys, right here, $3.99 a pound. Every single week, you can go in there and get 80% lean ground beef for $3.99 a pound. Every week. I mean, you can't beat that. 80% lean, 20% fat. That's a decent deal on hamburger each and every week from the Bashas. This is a staple of theirs to bring you in their store. And then they also have strawberries, which match the fries price on strawberries at $1.99 each for a pound. That's not bad. We've seen this 89 cents. I think it was 88 cents at another store, but your orange, gold, green, and red bell peppers and hothouse cucumbers for 89 cents each. That's a pretty decent deal. Value pack chicken. Now these deals here are going to be part of a Friday, Saturday, Sunday deal. But boneless, skinless breast chicken in the value pack for $1.99 a pound is a pretty damn good deal, you guys. Boneless pork loin at $1.99. We've seen another store that had it $2.49. So man, I mean, Bashas is kind of hitting it out of the park. $1.59 a pound on, basically your drumsticks, thighs, or combo. And at $1.59 a pound, that's a pretty decent price. But we've seen thighs and drumsticks at 2 other stores for $1.29 a pound. So choose your battles, I suppose. You could shop around and save money. Here's 5th store now. Buy 2 get 2 free on soda. Um, this is Coke and Pepsi products. Buy two, get two free. Lay's and Doritos. Buy two, get two free. And then you have Powerade and Sparkling Ice. 10 for 10. $1 a bottle. We saw them for 89 cents at another store. So, choose your battles. Let's keep rolling down this Bashas ad and see what else they have. 26 to 30 count cooked shrimp. This is kind of the tail on it, but it's going to be ready to go for $5.99 a pound. Man, Bashas is trying to get you in their store pretty desperately. You can save some money at Bashas if you're in Arizona. Cosmic Crisp apples at 79 cents each. It's not bad for a nice apple. And these are digital deals. Let's keep rolling down this ad. Pork sirloin, country style ribs, $1.69 a pound. That's a great deal. And boneless pork loin roast. Now this isn't the whole in the bag. It's probably a smaller cut of pork loin, but for $2.99. So they're basically taking it out of the bag, cutting it in half, and charging you an extra $1 a pound on it. You might as well buy that whole piece and bag it up, freeze it, save it, marinate it. There's so many different things you can do with pork loin to preserve that piece of meat, so you can get a few days down the road and use it for a few different dinners in a row. Let's keep rolling down this ad and see what else we have. 3-day sale. This is an 8 to 12 count shrimp, and 8 to 12. Those are big shrimp for $7.99 a pound. I mean, if you want to put a shrimp on the Barbie, that's a good price to do it at, and that's a good size to do it. Bar S bologna and hot dogs. This is the 12 ounce to 16 ounce package for $1.69. It's just okay. Sara Lee bread, $2.99 each. That's not bad. That's just an okay deal on Gatorade. Buy two, get one free. Here's another digital deal on mayonnaise, Best Foods at $3.99. And I can tell you, man, Bashas is pretty famous for their produce, and they have some good produce deals almost each and every week. Organic avocados, 2 for $5, $1.50 a pound, or $1.50 each. That's not bad. Then strawberries for $3.99, but that's only a 16 ounce pack. So we've seen those on sale in multiple stores, and that might not be your best deal this week. Sweet Baby Ray's and French's mustard at $1.99 is a pretty darn good deal. I love Sweet Baby Ray's. It's my favorite barbecue sauce. You guys, and that's it for the Bashas ad. Let's roll into the Food for Less. Food for Less is mainly a California store, and I think there's a couple in Nevada, but they're starting right off with a chuck roast for $4.99 a pound. Smoking deal, $8 a pound regular price. It's going to save you $3 a pound. Easily $10 by buying. You're probably going to save $10 a roast easily by buying them here at the Food for Less at $4.99 a pound. Boneless pork sirloin chops at $2.99. I'll tell you that Food City had those bone-in sirloin chops, and that does make it just an amazing barbecuing chop. But these little boneless sirloin chops as well, pork is, tend to get a little dry on you. It'll do things, man. The sirloins, especially with the pork, is a nice juicy version, of that pork loin chop. It's going to be much better, much more tender, in my opinion. 2-day sale, rolling here at the Food for Less. Looks like you got iceberg lettuce at 88 cents each. Only a Saturday, Sunday deal. Foster Farms lunch meat, $3.99. That's a 20 ounce pack. That's a pretty darn good deal right there. Let's keep seeing what we're seeing. Atlantic salmon, $7.99 a pound. Man, that's the best deal on salmon we've seen in the market. Right there, $7.99 per pound for wild caught salmon. That's good. That's very good. There's a couple other varieties there. 4 for $10, Doritos, Cheetos, and Lay's. And that's a decent deal as well. 4 for $10, you must buy the 4. We see this digital deal right here quite a bit, where they're running that cube for $9.99, basically $5 a 12 pack. That's a pretty good savings, you guys. Rice-a-roni, pasta-roni, 99 cents each. Just quick, easy addition to whatever protein you're putting on the plate. and you can't go wrong. This is a digital deal. Buy 5 in that first transaction. You know, max out your savings on that item. Let's keep rolling down this ad and see what else we have in store. Oh, taco meat. Right there, $5.99 for taco meat. That's just a stew meat, basically, $5.99. Oscar Mayer bacon here. You know, this says 12 ounce for $4.99. I didn't know Oscar Mayer made a 12 ounce bacon. I wonder if that's a misprint. Usually it's a 16 ounce bacon, but I'm sure, you know, there's, you know, Oscar Mayer's going to market to whatever store they're selling to, basically. And if Food for Less can sell this 12 ounce pack, then of course they're going to market it to them. But $4.99 is just an okay deal for a 12 ounce pack of bacon. Sanderson Farms split breast. This is the skin on, bone on breast, which in my opinion is the best way to barbecue a chicken breast, with that skin and bone on it. Keeps that breast in between those two layers nice and juicy, you guys. Nice and juicy. One of the best ways to barbecue a piece of chicken, in my opinion. Let's see what else we have at the Food for Less, and that's it. All right, we have 2 more stores. Now we're going to go to one of my favorite California stores, Stater Brothers. My dad used to take me to this store when I was just a young man growing up in California. And they're running a really good deal on my favorite piece of meat, you guys. Beef flap meat. This makes phenomenal carne asada. Cannot go wrong with this piece of meat. It is better than skirt. It is better than thin cut chuck. It is better than thin cut cross rib, and a lot of the other things that you would make carne asada out of. Flap meat, unsung hero right here, you guys. Trust me, give this a try. Trust me on this. Pork loin, baby back rib, and St. Louis style rib at $3.99 a pound. Just an okay deal, but here we go. $9.99 on your ribeye. That's a decent deal for the holidays right there. Especially if you're, you know, I'm hoping that for the 4th of July ad, the actual 4th of July ad, that they run a really good steak. We'll see how many companies do that, and you and I will talk about that, I promise. Here we go, $1.29 a pound on your drumstick family pack. Here's that dark meat, $1.29 a pound. Good competitive price across the market, it looks like. Let's keep rolling down this ad, see what else we have. $2.99 on cherries. We've seen them for $1.99 in other stores. And here we go, just Coke products, $4.99 just for a 12-pack. You saw the cubes and the digital deal for the 24-pack, which is $5. A 12-pack basically, and here we have them for just $5.99. And then when you buy 4 on your Pepsi products, $3.99. That is a good deal on soda right there. At the Stater Brothers. Ooh, Gatorade and Rockstars. Mainly the Rockstars, what we're talking about, at 99 cents. That's a good deal for Rockstar. You can't go wrong there, I promise you. $1.99 on your 2-liter bottles. When you buy 3, that's just a good deal in general. $4.99 on Farmer John. You got Adele's and Nathan's hot dogs. You know, Farmer John is a 12-ounce pack these days, and at $4.99, so that's just an okay deal for those. Johnsonville breakfast sausage, and then their other sausages for $3.99 a pack is decent. That's decent. I like Stater Brothers. They're a good overall, you know, just kind of a through-the-middle pricing. Not the best, not the worst. But if you like their environment and all that stuff, you know, they're still, you know, a good store where you can save some money at. And then, of course, you can shop around, shop that flat meat. We saw it at another store for $11.99 a pound. Get the flat meat here, you go get the produce over at another store, and you save yourself quite a bit of money in the process. What else do we have? Bratwurst, just whatever their Stater Brothers brand, Italian sausage, and beer brats for $3.99. Looks like it's a 12 to 16 ounce package, so it's a little smaller package for $3.99. That's just a decent deal. And then an everyday low price on their pork butt for $2.99 a pound. $2.99 a pound is an everyday low price. It's just an average price for that piece of meat. And then you have chicken thighs in the family pack for $1.69 a pound at the Stater Brothers. Keta salmon. One problem with Keta salmon is it's kind of a downgraded salmon. You know, you'll buy Keta and it'll have like splotches on it. You know, it just won't look quite as good as that farm-raised Atlantic salmon with that perfect, you know, coloring, uniform coloring. But at $9.99, I don't know if that's the best deal for Keta salmon. I'd rather buy, you know, just regular Atlantic salmon at say $8.99 or $9.99 and get that good quality salmon, in my opinion. Ooh, $10 a bag. 8 to 12 count easy peel shrimp. This is a 1 pound package, so $10 a pound. Remember, those are the 8 to 12s. Those are shrimp on the Barbie right there for $10 a bag. That's not bad. Not bad at all, you guys. And that's about it for the Stater Brothers. Let's roll over to Smart&Final. And Smart&Final is running a smoking deal on spare ribs. $1.98 a pound for spare ribs. Man, that's a great deal. Probably the cheapest price we've seen in the market for a full rack of spare ribs. And then mangoes, 2 for 98 cents. Mini watermelons, here we go, $2.99 each. That's not terrible. And then $3.99 on Johnsonville sausage. What I love about this deal is Johnsonville is the 19 ounces of sausage for $3.99. You saw in the Stater Brothers ad that they had their smaller pack of sausage for $3.99 a pound, but it wasn't 19 ounces of it. And here we go, Foster Farms chicken drumsticks, 99 cents a pound. Best deal in the whole damn market right there for chicken drumsticks. Smoking deal right there, you guys. You can't go wrong. Let's see. Let's look down this side here. Roma tomatoes for 88 cents a pound. Yellow nectarines for $1.99. Black cherries 2 for $5. Organic strawberries for $4.99. That organic strawberries, I don't know. I can't tell the difference between regular strawberries as far as taste, personally. Ooh, here's another deal on flat meat. $7.99 a pound, you guys. Man, that's a great deal. That is a great deal for that piece of meat. Marinate it. Do it on the grill. And then we have Bar S hot dogs. Looks like the 16-ounce pack for $1.25 each. And I think the other two ads that we looked at that had Bar S hot dogs in them were the 12-ounce pack for about the same price. So this is a good deal. At the Smart&Final, Wonder Bread, $1.99 each for Wonder. Man, that's cheap for Wonder Bread. Wonder Bread's good. It's just a classic good bread. And let's see. Oh, here we go. Chicken leg meat. That's probably your leg quarters. Let me see here. Fresh boneless, skinless chicken leg meat. So basically thighs for $2.99 a pound. It's just a big bag, 5 pounds of it. These looks like they're bigger deals. $16.20 for $7.99. 85% for $6.99 a pound. 85% is the classic grind and a darn good hamburger. But $6.99 is a little pricey. You know, that's an average price in the market right now. That's kind of expensive on water. Let's see what else we have. I want to do one more ad. And let's just pull it up here real quick. Smith's Food and Drug. And I like to do the Smith's ad. Let's go into their weekly ad. And there we go. All right. Now Smith's mainly is Nevada, and then that western part of Arizona, Kingman, Havasu, Bullhead City. You'll find quite a few Smith's there, especially if you're playing up along the Colorado River there. You know, you might roll into Smith's if you're there for the weekend and having a good time on that river. Smith's is an affiliate of Kroger as well, so we're going to see some decent deals here. Half loin for $1.79 a pound. This is the cheapest price we've seen for a pork loin. $1.79 a pound is a great deal. And then they have that spare rib for also $1.79 a pound. Another good deal, you guys. Smith's knocking out of the park. And then we've seen this. Remember, you saw this in the fries ad. 2-pound thing of strawberries for $2.99 this time. I believe Fry's had them for $3.99. So that's a good deal. No. I think they added $2.99 too, because remember it was $1.50 basically per pound. Excuse me. So that's right. That's a good deal though. $1.50 a pound for strawberries. At this point, we haven't seen them cheaper. Head lettuce for 99 cents. We've seen, I believe, an 89-cent price on that as we went through these ads. And Roma tomatoes for 99 cents. Buy one, get one free on the Oscar Mayer bacon. It's not bad. That's not bad. And there's your $1.29. Nice consistency across the whole market. It looks like for drumsticks and thighs between 99 cents and $1.29 a pound. And that's a great deal. Ho, 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 ho. Johnsonville sausage for $2.99 a pound. 2-day sale, only Saturday and Sunday, you guys. So make sure and pay attention to that. That is a smoking deal for 19 ounces of the sausage from Johnsonville. What is this, like 7 stores now? Buy 2, get 2 free on soda. 7-Up, Pepsi, and Coke products. That's a great deal. That's a great deal. Take a look at that regular retail. Make sure you're saving money. $2.49 on a dozen of eggs and 4 for $10 on Cheetos and Lay's. We've seen that 4 for $10 deal across multiple stores as well. So obviously, they're really trying to push their product. And here's 80% lean ground beef for $3.99 a pound. This is a digital deal. Buy 5 in your first transaction. So you really can save money. It's about $1 a pound cheaper than normal. So it's a good price. 99 cents each on this rice-a-roni. In my opinion, it's still a good deal. So, but remember, this is a digital deal and one you'll need to go download. $2.99 on your Claussen pickles and $2.99 on your Oscar Mayer lunch meat, and that 7 to 9 ounce. Those are 2 really, really, really good prices in this market. Like I said, Claussen pickles are, $6 to $7 a jar nowadays. It's nutty. But anyway, Kraft singles, $1.99. That beats the store brand price right there, and you're getting Kraft for that price. That's a smoking deal, you guys. Let's keep rolling down this ad. There's the crescent rolls for $1.99. That is a really good deal. There's the ballparks for $2.49. So you see some of the similarities between the Smith's ad and the Fry's ad. And then there's DiGiorno pizza for $3.99. Or no, I'm sorry, it's Red Baron pizza for $3.99. My mistake. And then you have Kroger sausage, patties, links, and in the tube for $3.49 a pound. And that's just a decent deal right there. I mean, everyday low price, basically. Let's keep rolling down this thing. We've seen these Schweidenson patties. These are really good patties. You don't get these combinations of beef like this too often. They do a brisket chuck, brisket sirloin, chuck brisket sirloin combination. And those are some very specific flavors. I can tell you chuck meat, or especially the clod, your piece of arm, basically, is one of the best smelling meats. It's amazing when you grind that through the grinder fresh. It just has that great, great smell. It's quite tantalizing. Sirloin has its own kind of smell too. It's interesting as from different parts of the cow. Sirloin's more from the back. You have your chuck is more for the arm and the shoulder. And so they're just different parts of the cow, but they do have very specific smells to them and tastes, in my opinion. 4 pounds of wings for $11.99 is a decent deal. And don't forget to take advantage of these fuel points. They're on specific days. Fridays are a lot of the times 4 times fuel points for Kroger companies. Oh, and here's that Aquastar salmon again, $8.99. It's 20 ounces of salmon for $8.99. Specific product. It is wild caught, and that is a good price. And then $7.99 a pound on 26 to 30 count cooked shrimp, which is just a decent price in my opinion. Chuck roast. Here's that chuck roast deal again for $6.99. Chuck steaks, chuck roast. I believe for fries they also had the top round and the bottom round and the chuck roast all at $6.99. In this circumstance, it's just the chuck roast, and then chuck steaks are $7.99 a pound. That's okay. Pork loins from Hormel, $7.99 flavored. And then you got your Kroger sausage and Hillshire sausage for $3.99. Then they've raised that sockeye salmon. This is a fresh, wild-caught sockeye salmon for $13.99 per pound, which is decent if it's truly fresh, wild-caught. For $13.99 a pound, that's not bad. And then those sea scallops again for $11 a pound. That's pretty decent. That U10 scallop. I mean, they're going to be about yay big. That's a good price. And I believe that's just about it. Ah, here we go. Here's a little smoking deal right here. $1.99 on your pork butt. Can't go wrong. I mean, for all you smokers out there, $1.99 a pound. Green chili, pulled pork. God, that just makes my heart happy. Anyway, let's keep rolling down this and see what else is left. All right, you guys, that is the tri-state ads. Local California ads, local Nevada ads, local Arizona ads, trying to save you money in these local grocery stores rather than having to go to the Costco or going to the Sam's Club or going to the big Walmarts, where you're going to spend 2 hours in those places, trying to get around. These local grocery stores are much more convenient, and you can pop in and out of them. They're usually pretty close in proximity to each other. And you really can save your money by shopping some of these front page items. Hey, my name's Tom, your local neighborhood butcher, and I do appreciate you spending a little time with me each and every week. I love going over these ads with you. Really trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. So please subscribe. Please hit the like so that the algorithm knows that I'm doing a good job for you and that you like what I'm doing. And thank you for that. I do appreciate you. Once again, thank you, and bye now.